Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Welcome back. I know what you're thinking. What a fancy setup. Is this guy in his kitchen? Yeah, I'm in my kitchen. Why? Because the lighting's better and I'm home alone, so I can use my kitchen. Look at those knives behind me. Damn, those are nice knives. Anyways, right into it. So tonight is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which is crazy because Mike Tyson is almost 30 years older, just under, I think, 29 years older, something like that. And he's boxing Jake Paul, who, despite what people want to believe, he's got skills. And my pick in that fight, unfortunately, I'm rooting for Mike Tyson with all my heart. I would love to see him win. I think he gets decisioned by Jake Paul. I think when you're 58, what makes me nervous is, like, I think it was Evander Holyfield when he fought Vitor Belfort. I mean, he got KO'd almost immediately, and I think he was about 58 in that fight. And I mean, it seems like your body's ability to take punishment and then recover from the punishment of a training camp just kind of goes out the window as you get older. However, Mike Tyson looks great. I mean, he looks jacked. He looks mean. It looks like he's been working hard. I would love to see Mike Tyson win. I'm hoping he has enough skill to not get finished, but I do think he gets decisioned by the younger guy. I think the shorter rounds, while they do benefit Mike Tyson, I think that it benefits the younger guy a little bit more, especially because I think Jake's going to be able to be more active throughout the fight. So unfortunately, or not unfortunately, depends. I mean, we all want Mike Tyson to win, right? I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. I think Jake Paul decisions him, but a fight's a fight, so anything could happen. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson, but my official pick is Jake Paul by decision. And then tomorrow is the UFC 309. I'm not going to pick all the prelims fights, but there's a couple prelims that I thought were interesting that I am going to pick on. Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders, and I think that's actually a really good matchup. I think it's an interesting matchup for both of them. Chris Weidman being 16-7, Eric Anders being 16-8, and one no contest. I could see this fight going either way. I'm going to say it's a coin flip. I mean, honestly, I think either way it goes, we're going to see a decision, maybe a split decision. I'm going to take Eric Anders by decision. I have Mauricio Ruffy, who's 10-1, coming off a first-round finish, versus James Luntop. I probably butchered that. Whatever. He's 14-4, and he's actually on a 2-fight skid in the UFC. He lost by submission, and then he lost by decision recently. I'm going to take Mauricio by round 2 KO TKO. It's kind of a bolder pick. Again, I don't advise anyone bets on my picks, but that's my pick. All right, the next fight's in women's flyweight. We have Vivian Araújo. She's 12-6, and she's coming off a decision loss, fighting Karine Silva, who's 18-4. She's on a crazy win streak. A lot of first-round finishes with submissions and stuff. Yeah, she has 3 first-round submissions in the UFC, which is insane, and then she has a decision. I am actually going to take Karine Silva by decision, and if you picked her by submission, that's totally a valid pick. The reason I went with decision is because the other girl fought Alexa Grasso and lost the decision. So I feel like she's fought a lot of tough competition and she hasn't really been finished, except for like once in her career, I think. So yeah, I'm taking Karine Silva by decision. I could see a submission happening, but officially I'm going to pick the decision there. Moving on, we have Bo Nickel, who's 6-0, versus Paul Craig, who's 17-8-1. And in my last video, I accidentally said Paul Craig when I was talking about a fighter named AJ Craig. Just kind of slipped the brain. That fight, it's kind of hard to call, in my opinion, because Paul Craig has whipped out like crazy submission wins. We've seen it in the past where a wrestler takes down the jiu-jitsu guy and gets triangled. I don't think that's going to happen here. I don't think Bo Nickel's just a wrestler. So, I think he knows, especially with a guy who's got a bunch of crazy submission finishes, I think he knows what he's, kind of what to expect. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I do actually think that this one it should be closer to 50-50 than it probably is. Yeah, I'm seeing some crazy odds. I checked a few websites. It looks like Bo Nickel's like an insane favorite in this fight, and I am taking Bo Nickel by decision. Reason being, I think when your wrestling's that elite, it's 3 5-minute rounds. You land 3 takedowns, which he's more than capable of doing. Even 2 takedowns. You only need to win 2 rounds. As long as Paul Craig doesn't sub him or doesn't get up, I mean that's a decision victory. Now I'm sure he's going to be looking for the finish, but I think Paul Craig is crafty enough that he doesn't get finished by Bo Nickel. And unless he manages to whip out a submission off his back, I think Bo Nickel rides this one to decision. Next is Charles Oliveira. He's 34-10 and 1 no contest. He was a world champion. He's fighting Michael Chandler, who's 23-8. Both guys are fantastic. Chandler's been out for a couple years waiting for the McGregor fight that ended up not happening, and I mean, he stayed in shape that whole time, so I'm sure he's going to be super explosive. His body probably has less miles on it than it would have if he were to have been taking fights that whole time. That could play a factor. It might not matter at all. I don't know. Because I do personally believe that ring rust is a thing, especially after 2 years. Charles Oliveira won their first fight all the way back in 2021, which I thought was yesterday, but here we are almost in 2025. He won by finish, KO, TKO in round 2. I do believe that both men have improved a lot, but I think that Charles Oliveira is... I mean, he's got power on the feet, and he's got great clinch, and he's, I mean, obviously a fantastic with the submissions. I think he's got so many tools. He's so well-rounded, and not that Michael Chandler isn't. Michael Chandler's got great stand-up. He's got fantastic wrestling, but I just think Charles Oliveira gets it done by decision. That's my pick, Charles Oliveira by decision. Then we have the main event, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Jon Jones, 27-1 and 1 no contest. And we all know the story about the 12-6 elbows that got him DQ'd. So really, he's 28-0 with 1 no contest for picograms, I believe. He's fighting Stipe Miocic, who is 20-4. And I'll be honest, I think we all suspect Jon Jones is going to win this fight. My heart is with Stipe Miocic. I would love to see him pull this one off, but I have Jon Jones by decision. I think he takes him down. He plays it pretty safe. I don't think he takes a lot of risks in this fight. I mean, he's talking about how he's not going to fight Tom Aspinall, and he's not really taking risky fights, which, you know what, if I was 28-0, I'd probably do the same thing. But I would love to see him fight Tom Aspinall next. And he's been trying to hype this fight up kind of strange, in my opinion. I mean, like he's like, don't talk about my kids. And Stipe's like, I didn't talk about your kids. He said it's a direct assault on me and my family. And I think him knocking his wife out was technically a direct assault on him and his family, but that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Jon Jones, great fighter, questionable person. I think Jon Jones gets it done by decision, but my heart's with Stipe. So my official pick, Jon Jones by decision, and that's my picks for UFC 309. Moving on, let's see how I did last time. So as you might remember, overall I am 4-3, but 4 of those picks were perfect picks. The fight card was UFC Fight Night, Neil Magny versus Prates. And we'll just go through in the order that I picked the fights and review them that way. First prelim fight I picked was Cody Stamann versus Damon Blackshear. I had picked Cody Stamann by decision. He got flying kneed and then submitted in the first, so I'm wrong. So I'm 0-1 on this card so far. The next fight was Carolina Kolakevich versus Denise Gomez. I took Denise Gomez by decision. That's a perfect pick. Denise Gomez won by decision, so I'm 1-1. To start the main card was Mansour Abdul Malik versus Dusko Kordakevic. I picked Mansour by decision. Perfect pick. He won by decision, so I'm 2-1. Next was Luana Pinheiro versus Jillian Robertson, and I had picked Julian Robertson by decision. Another perfect pick. She won by decision. That makes me 3-1. The next fight was Gaston Bolinos versus Cortavius Ramanos. I had picked Cortavius by first round submission. A very bold pick. A very bold pick that was wrong because he lost by decision. That makes me 3-2. The next fight was Gerald Meerschaert, who Shart's close to my heart, but I picked his opponent to win by first round TKO, Reinier de Ridder, and that is not what happened. It was a right pick because Reinier won, but it was the wrong method. He actually won by submission in the third round, but there was a crazy knockdown in the first that was almost the end of the fight right there. So I was so close to being right. That makes me 4-2 with 3 perfect picks for this card. And then we had the main event, Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. I picked Carlos Prates by KO TKO in round 2, but he actually got it done at the end of round 1. Fantastic fight. I mean, to finish Neil Magny in the first is insane. That makes me 5-2 overall for this card. And then I picked on the bare knuckle fights as well. I picked Elijah Jamerson by first round finish. That's what happened. Perfect pick. I picked Leo Bercier to win. I didn't say how. He did win. I picked Dallas Davison by KO, and he did get a KO. It was kind of a weird finish. It was like a doctor's stoppage, but I mean, it's still a still a finish, so I'm gonna count that as a perfect pick. And then I picked Brady Meister, and he did not win. He lost in the first round. I picked Brian Cromer with a first round KO, TKO, and that's what happened. Perfect pick. And then in Kai Stewart versus Jimmy Rivera, I picked Kai Stewart by decision, and beautiful performance. He won by decision. That's another perfect pick. I forgot Luis Lopez by decision. That's another perfect pick. That makes me 11-3 overall. So my overall record for my last video's picks, I went 11-3 with 7 of those being perfect picks. My overall record for all the picks I've made on this channel, I am 15-6, 11 of those being perfect picks. So I'm not doing too bad. Hopefully we just keep rolling with the wins, but we'll see. But anyways, if you're still here at this point in the video, you might as well like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.